Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Tata Punch. But before we reach the car, let me talk to you about one of my favorite perfumes from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Music Retro. You can see this is actually a glass bottle which is finished in matte. Now this is a great blend of lemon and masculine notes, resulting in a very subtle yet refreshing smell. I love it. Anyways, here is the car right in front of you. Straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay, and there it is, the sole engine on offer. You can see it is vibrating a bit. There is insulation right there, and I'll tell you what, I'm supremely impressed by the Tata Punch. In fact, people turn around to see the car because Tata Motors has aced the design of this car while also being able to cut costs, because the bumper is not body colored, it's actually plastic, not painted, yet it gives it this SUV feel on this car. And you see the grille gets the piano black finishing. However, the tri-arrow pattern is right here so that the horn is exposed and the horn can be louder. Tri-arrow pattern here on the grille as well. Meanwhile, you can see this is the fog light which gets the cornering function as well. It gets a projector setup. This is actually the high beam, this is the low beam, and here you see aerodynamic bits. Yeah, air actually flows from here. That is kind of surprising. I don't know if you can see it or not. Meanwhile, obviously it gets the chrome treatment and chrome for the humanity line as well. This is the indicator which is not LED, of course, neither is this. This is also not LED. However, you get an LED DRL which shuts off when you turn on the indicator. But since the indicator is not on here, you can see the LED DRL is actually on at the moment. Now this car is actually the longest as well as the widest in its segment. It also has the longest wheelbase, the best approach, departure as well as breakover angles, and the best ground clearance as well when compared to rivals. And that's not all, it also has the highest water wading capacity in the segment at 370 mm, which is very impressive indeed. Okay, I love the design. It is actually, you can say, a mini Harrier in that sense, and this chrome treatment is also quite premium. It gets 16-inch diamond cut wheels, yeah, on the top variant. 195/60, 16 is the size of the tire. I like the design of the wheels, they also look nice. That body cladding is running throughout the car to give it that SUV feel. Ground clearance is 187 mm, which is again impressive. They have actually nailed the design. The length is slightly more than 3.8 meters. Obviously it sits below the Nexon, and it is a sub 4 meter car. Piano black finishing on the outside rear view mirrors. You know why? Because this is the dual tone treatment, so the roof is also finished in black. A largish antenna which is like very big when you put it upwards like that, and roof rails which will not be functional, of course. Now the rear door handles are actually hidden, so much like the Swift as well as the Chevrolet Spark. So that's again a cool thing, and it keeps beeping like this if the key is in my pocket. So it tells that, you know, you're out of the key. I mean, without the key. There is a request sensor here. Tata offers 4 variants of this car, the Tata Punch. There is Pure, which is the base. Then there is something known as Adventure, Accomplished, and Creative, and this is the Creative trim, and they have 3 packs as well. So you don't have to go the full bounty of opting for the higher variant. You can get some features of the higher variant in your lower variant car by opting for one of the packs. So basically the Rhythm pack is available on the base 2 variants, which happens to be the Pure as well as the Adventure, which gives you certain features from the above variant. And then for the Accomplished variant, there is the Dazzle pack, which gives you features from this particular variant, which is the top end variant, the Creative. And the Creative has something known as the IRA pack, which, as the name suggests, is for the connected car features. And here you see it gets LED brake light, but the indicator is not LED, so it's not complete LED lights, but it says Tata right here. So I like the attention to detail. I like the fact that they have finished the C-pillar in black, so it gives you sort of a floating roof treatment as well. It says Punch right there. You get request sensors, only 2 of them though, and the reverse parking camera is beautifully integrated. And you know what, in spite of the fact that the bumper is not painted, it still looks very nice. In fact, the stance from the rear is very impressive. You can obviously see the tires from here, and you know what, this is probably for the air to flow. This is the reflector and tri-arrow pattern here as well. Meanwhile, okay, this seems like a rhinoceros, and it says vocal for local, high mounted stop lamp, rear wiper and washer. There's an electromagnetic tailgate opener, which is so impressive. The boot capacity is 366 liters, which honestly is decent for the segment. and you get a parcel shelf. Of course, the wheels are intruding into the boot a bit. There is the cover and the first aid kit right there. Now to open what is below this, it's a bit of a task. Here it is. Oh my god, yeah, I don't get it right anytime. Anyways, this is the spare wheel, which is a 185/70 15. You can see the toolkit is placed right there, but it's not an alloy, it's a smaller sized wheel in the interest of cost cutting, of course, or maybe it will not fit the full size wheel here. Anyways, it's a one split seat. In order to increase the boot carrying capacity, you can just push it like that. I mean, there are buttons on the side. I cannot do it with one hand, so I had already done it earlier. This increases the boot carrying capacity, but a 60/40 split seat would be really nice. This is obviously the number plate light. There's a handle here so you can shut the boot. Okay, it is not very light as such, takes some effort. Now this is actually based on the Alpha Arc shared with the Altroz, so you guessed it right. What's coming up next? 90-degree opening doors. Take that, Tata Altroz. Oh no, that was the wrong thing to say, because the Altroz also has the same, but 90-degree doors, so you can easily 90-degree opening doors, so you can easily get inside. That's also super impressive. They have actually nailed it with the packaging of the car. So here we go. Yeah, let me shut this. Now I would say the seat recline angle could have been slightly better for sure. Otherwise the cabin is very comfortable. Floor is quite flat. It's actually flat, and that's one of the benefits of the Alpha architecture. Door pockets are really huge here. I love this white treatment. They played with colors fantastically well. Let's get inside, and there's actually good amount of legroom and knee room. Okay, and this is not scooped out, but there's a magazine holder here. Under thigh support is also quite decent, which is surprising for me. But headroom is not the best for someone as tall as me. My cap is almost touching the roof. So if you're 6 feet 2 inches tall, you're not going to be comfortable here, but you should be at the front. Of course, there's a hook here along with the handle. No height adjustable seat belts. I cannot expect it at this price point. This is this white stitching, which is quite nice as well. Now there is storage space here, but there's no USB at the rear, no rear AC vents either. However, there's a center armrest, which is mandatory because there is no center headrest, because the center passenger never has a head. But these are adjustable headrests on the side, and the good thing is that 3 people can sit in comfortably. Only thing is the cabin is not wide enough. Comfortable in terms of leg room, but the cabin is not wide enough, because at the end of the day, this is actually a very small car. Tri-arrow pattern here on the seat. The seat is very, very, very comfortable. I like it. However, the recline angle could be slightly better. So in terms of recline, it could have been slightly better. Now in order to close the doors, you have to stretch, because 90-degree doors, they open quite big. Okay, this window area could be slightly bigger as well. Dashboard design is super duper impressive. However, the AC vents color changes depending on the color of the car you have opted for. Though that is again pretty cool and awesome as well. Anyways, Tata Motors has made this a very practical car with plenty of storage spaces as well. Rear seat comfort is actually better than its rivals for sure. And these 90-degree doors, oh my god, I love them. I absolutely love them. In terms of design, very impressive a car. Okay, they have absolutely nailed it. It doesn't feel like a small car, but you know what, on the inside it feels like a much more expensive car. Why? Okay, check this out. That is actually the sensor. You know for what? Of course, it has got rain sensing wipers, and these 90-degree doors are so amazing and so much fun. Only thing is, you have to be careful opening the door in the city, because if you open the door in the city, this car, which is actually Chintu Mintu, becomes massively wide with the doors open, and then you will find it difficult to actually get out of the car. If you open the door this much, you're going to knock off somebody, especially in places like Mumbai where traffic is an absolute pain in your rear. That said, door pockets are really big at the front as well, and it also gets an umbrella holder. That is super duper awesome. Wow, amazing. Okay, love the white color, which is contrast to the black otherwise. You know what, it also gets a one touch power window, only for the driver though. Why is it? Yeah, there it is working. Okay, but it only rolls down one touch. It doesn't roll up in one touch, so you have to take that effort, but only the driver's side gets that. And you know what, press this button, you can actually close the mirror from the inside. The outside rear view mirrors can be closed from here itself, which is so cool. Very impressive. Yeah, some of the features are like very unique, especially rain sensing wipers. It's got automatic headlights as well, and the seats are super duper comfortable. I love the seats, very comfortable seats, and driver obviously gets height adjust and all the various adjustments. You get a proper dead pedal there, and this is really very deep. Yeah, quite a deep storage. I don't know if it's focusing or not, but you can see it is super duper deep. This is the start engine stop button. This is the stop start system button, and this is for the eco mode. This is for the front fog lights. It doesn't get rear fog lights, of course. and quality levels are actually quite impressive. It doesn't feel cheap in any way whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to just turn off the indicator for a moment, but you know what, before we get going, let me remove the perfume which I was showing you in the start. This is the Involve Music Retro. It is actually a water based gel perfume, which by the way has consistent performance thanks to Dry Fresh, and I can easily keep it here. Oh my god, the aroma is really amazing. Anyways, here you see the glove box is really humongous because there is another storage compartment on the top, which is very nice. And obviously there are plenty of hard plastics, like hard plastics everywhere, but it doesn't feel itchy to your eyes. It doesn't feel scratchy either. Beautifully designed dashboard. I love it. This is obviously for the hazard light. This is for the air conditioning. It gets climate control air conditioning. So whenever I make any move here, it actually shows there on the screen. Let me turn it off. There's a USB charging socket and there's a 12-volt charging socket as well. There's a deep cubby hole right there, and there is storage space. Here there's another 12-volt charging socket, twin cup holders. This is obviously the handbrake of the vehicle. It says keep your keys here, so there's the key marking as well. Okay, I love this white stitching. Seats have good under thigh support and good back support as well, and dashboard design feels very nice. However, it feels a little empty in this area as such. Meanwhile, the steering wheel gets the flat bottom treatment and is height adjustable. Of course, that's not all. They have given this nice stitching. You can see this steering feels really impressive to hold as such. Now this is a 7-inch screen. It says Harman on the top, and now it is showing me proper stuff because it dims very fast. Anyways, it's got Apple CarPlay, it's got Android Auto connectivity, and because it's got connected car tech also, it says what 3 words. It's got navigation, it's got all the things you would expect from a connected car vehicle. Voice commands are there too. Easy to browse, not the slickest as such. There's something known as Doodle. Okay, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to get into it at the moment. What we're going to get into is Drive Next. It gives you all the data of your driving. Right now my score is 3.8 on 5, which is very poor. So basically on your efficiency, driving and safety, it gives you a score. It also tells you what is the fuel efficiency of the car, how much you have traveled, and it can be for current as well as for the twin trip meters as well, which is very nice indeed. Meanwhile, it's got Park Assist. Basically, it's a driver rear view monitor, which is always on as such. And here the screen is actually turned off. Okay, audio, shut yourself audio. Yeah, so it is a 7-inch screen, which might seem a bit small as such. There is actually the clock, all the data being shown. I want to actually browse here to get into the themes. So it has got multiple themes, which changes the color. So right now this is the blue theme. Now let's get into Zing and let me activate Zing. Here we go, which changes not only the color, like you see it's become red, earlier it was blue, also the climate as well as the sound, how the sound system has been configured. There's a theme called Zeal, which is yellowish. There you see it turns it into yellow. Honestly, I love the blue one the most, so I'm just going to come into the blue one, which is known as Zen. Here we are, blue. That looks nice. And that's not all. It obviously has got a reverse parking camera. This is the reverse parking camera. It's got adaptive guidelines. Oh my god, that is really very cool as well. Okay, this is a 7-inch screen. It's the same as the Ultras, of course, the instrument cluster. It's a part digital cluster where the fuel meter is very similar to one we have seen in the Harrier. There is a tachometer right there. It's telling you the engine temperature, odometer, and distance to empty. Now it's easy to browse through this because it gives you plenty of data like instant fuel economy, what is the real-time fuel efficiency. It's 10.5 kilometers per liter, twin trip meters as well, and there is a power and torque meter which shows you in bars like when you accelerate. Okay, and then obviously the menu settings where you can see a lot more information. Where is this control from? Here, of course, it gets cruise control. OMG, cruise control in this segment of a car. Very impressive. These are the controls for the audio system of this vehicle. And you know what? It has got voice commands. So we are going to try them right away. Play music.
Sorry, I cannot do that when media is off. Turn on media and try again.
Of course, I will be able to manage if I've turned off the media, but what you're going to do is we're going to do an audio test right away. Thankfully, Tata Motors has been very smart by actually giving us music inside for a sound demo. So I don't have to actually connect media. Here it is, sound demo. Let's listen to an audio right away. Audio quality is supremely impressive for a car of this segment. Really very nice, and obviously the build also feels very good in this car. Okay, these are the controls for the headlights. I told you automatic headlights. These are the controls for the wipers, automatic wipers. The wipers work really well. See the amount of spray on offer, and it sprays very subtly down, lower down there, so it doesn't really spray all over the body, but it does actually. Now this is not an auto dimming inside rear view mirror. This is the light inside. There's only one at the front, none at the rear. And here you actually get a toll receipt holder. Meanwhile, here you get a mirror as well. Meanwhile, let's try and use the rear wiper too. So there you can see the wiper is functional, the rear wiper. And there is the spray coming out from down. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me just zoom in right now. And there it is. So yeah, rear wiper also works very well. Rear wiper is mandatory on a hatchback or an SUV because obviously the rear tends to get very dirty. Here I can spray as much as I like and it gets the job done. Now at the front, headroom is not an issue at all. You see there's good amount of headroom at the front. Seat is very comfortable as well. And just let me turn off the wipers for a moment, little confusing there. The horn is also decently nice, and you see these are proper dedicated buttons for the horn, so you can just press like this to activate the horn as well. Steering feel nice to hold, super duper light as well. Meanwhile, it also gets Isofix child seat anchors at the rear. Of course, it gets follow me home headlamps too, and it also gets puddle lamps. That's also super cool. Here it is, puddle lamp. I know, I've been saying a lot of adjectives for this car, but particularly, you know why? Because this is actually a small car and it is loaded with so much features, doesn't feel small or cheap in any way. That's very nice. Punch on the mats, which are optional of course, so don't expect them to be their standard with your car. And you just press the screen, there the brightness increases. I hope the brightness can be kept on a high all the time so that you can easily see. Otherwise, it dims to a level where you can't see. Otherwise, when I actually turn on the when I turn off the lights, there it obviously brightens slightly more, but then it dims after some time, which is a bit of an issue because I have to keep pressing it to be able to see what's inside. Continental Car Tech gives you all the usual features which you have seen in so many cars. Anyways, how is it to drive? Because the interior and the exterior and the features list as well as the quality seems super impressive. Let's go. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, changing this to show you the power and torque meter. There it is. And of course, we are going to be changing the drive mode. We are going to get into city.
City drive mode activated.
Thank you so much, Auntie. And here we are going to get into the driver rear view monitor, which means first things first, I'm going to put the handbrake down. This is the driver rear view monitor, park assist and active. Hazard light off, into first gear, having the motor and some amount of wheel spin, and then it gets bogged down very quickly. Red line comes in at around 6,000 RPM. Okay, now listen to the motor. Now this is a 1.2 liter engine which is a 3-cylinder unit. It gets dual variable valve timing, produces 86 horsepower and 130 Newton meters of torque. So you can say the engine is the same as the one which we see in the Tata Altroz. However, it just doesn't have outright performance. So outright it struggles a bit, not a bit, quite a bit as such, because it's not going to put a smile on your face with, impressive performance in terms of outright acceleration, because it takes 16.5 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. That is as per Tata Motors. So in the real world, you can expect it to take almost 18 seconds, and then if you go in the eco mode, it will become more efficient, but it will take more than 20 seconds to reach 100 kilometers per hour. Not fast by any stretch of imagination. In fact, the Maruti Suzuki Ignis has a better engine, and that's the only area where the Ignis is better than the Punch, because the Punch is better in every other aspect in terms of ride and handling balance. It's very, very, very impressive, because we've seen it with the Altos as well. This Alpha architecture is just amazing. Okay, it gives you a good balance of ride and handling. The ride quality is really very good, very impressive. The car is around 1000 kgs in weight, slightly more for higher variants, but in spite of the low weight, it doesn't feel light at all. Yeah, it doesn't feel light at all. It has this heft to it and drives beautifully well for a small car. First and foremost, the steering wheel is really light, but it weighs up decently well at high speeds, and high speed stability is also very impressive. You come through an expansion joint, this car does not jump. That is the level of ride quality on offer. The ride is supremely awesome. The handling is also good. Braking performance is also very impressive. In fact, it's got something known as brake sway control. Heavy braking, no problem. The car does not sway. So for a 3-cylinder engine, this is actually very, very, very refined indeed, but only lower down. Okay, as you get past 4000 rpm, the motor starts to get loud, and then around the 6000 rpm red line, it becomes very loud and has an abrupt cutoff at the red line as well. So that smoothness is not there. Power delivery is leaner for the most part. Earlier there were a lot more flat spots, which Tata Motors has tried to eliminate and have been successful, but still there are some flat spots in the power delivery. But the engine is impressive only on part throttle. So part throttle inputs, the engine actually responds well. It doesn't have the peppiness of, say, the Maruti Suzuki Ignis lower down the rev range, but it has a decent low-end performance. Obviously part throttle response is good. Mid-range is also nice. Top end is kind of lacking because it kind of feels out of breath in the top end, and then as you try to push it hard in the top end, it just does not feel comfortable. It becomes very loud, very vocal, and just uncomfortable. And obviously the 3-cylinder thrum is very audible there as well. So the engine gets the job done. It's not exciting enough. If they have offered the turbo, it would have been a lot better, but then the turbo would have increased the price of the cost and dropped some of the features away in order to get a value for money pricing. I think for most people who are buying this car, they would be satisfied with this engine because, like I said, it gets the job done. Fuel efficiency should be around 12 to 15 kilometers per liter, which is decently respectable for a car of this size, and you can obviously stretch it beyond 15 kilometers per liter out on the highway. Again, everything depends on your driving style. Now the steering, like I told you, is very, very nice, light, easy to twirl. You can see that, but thankfully it weighs up beautifully well at higher speeds. And there is body roll because, yeah, there has to be because of the height and slight softness as well. But you know what? The body roll is very predictable. It doesn't scare you silly unless and until you try to corner very hard, and because of the wide tires, obviously it offers good amount of grip as well. So in terms of the dynamic package, very impressive ride and handling balance. High speed stability is also nice. Braking performance is also good enough. The only thing is the engine is not that impressive for outright acceleration, but for city driving, part throttle driving, not full out driving, or when you don't give it the beans, it does the job quite well. The clutch is obnoxiously light but a bit snappy, and they've also refined the gearbox, which doesn't have that notchy feel which I experienced in the Altros. However, it is a smooth shifting gearbox without a doubt. You see, the ride is so nice that it's able to take all this in its stride without much of a hesitation. Only thing is, bigger and bad bumps, like huge bumps, can affect the car a bit and rattle it to a certain extent. But then this is a small car and has the best ride in the segment, best handling also in the segment, and braking performance is also nice. The only thing is the Ignis has a better engine than the other rival, happens to be the KUV 100, which is kind of non-existent, and this car also competes with the Magnite as well as, of course, the Kiger, which both of them get the turbo petrol option. Again, better engine, but in terms of naturally aspirated engines, this one is more than enough for most people, but gets so vocal in the top end of the rev range. Just don't push it hard and you're going to be really happy with this car. Okay, we've got dual airbags, the outside rear view mirrors are internally adjustable electrically, and then you can see the key which is in my hand right now. It has got buttons on it. This is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, this is to turn on the lights of the car, and this is to open the boot of the vehicle. And there's a provision for a rear fog light as well. They've not put it, I think it's going to be part of an accessory. Thankfully, no fake exhaust on this car, so you get a proper real exhaust, although a small pipe as such, and there is no dedicated button to lock or unlock the door. What I like about the instrument cluster is it also tells me the direction of the wheels when they're not straightened, and it also tells me exactly which door is open, including if the boot is open as well. So small bits inside this car which go a long way in showing that Tata Motors is now focusing on attention to detail, which is very nice indeed. Okay, directional changes, no problem. It sways a bit if you try to aggressively corner. That's largely to do with the fact that it's a tall car and set up more towards ride quality than handling, but still the handling is quite nice on the Tata Punch. Only thing is the engine doesn't punch the way it should for a car whose name is Punch, but most people will definitely not complain about it, I'm sure, because yeah, for the price it performs and stops also nicely. 0 to 60 kilometers per hour in 6.5 seconds. Again, claim numbers which are okay, fine, not that great as such. Mirrors are large enough, you get a good view of what's around, and directional changes are not a problem at all because the car does point in the direction you want it to go. So certainly this Punch is very, very, very impressive. Only thing is, from an enthusiastic perspective, the engine isn't that great. They're obviously going to get the turbo petrol engine. What is going to be the price of this car? Somewhere between 6 lakhs to 9.5 lakhs on road Mumbai, which is slotting it below the Nexon, of course, and not only competing with the Ignis as well as the KUV 100, but also with the Magnite as well as the Kiger, which are very aggressively priced as well. So now what we should do is we should switch to the AMT version. This is a 5-speed manual. The AMT, the automatic, gets a 5-speed AMT. Let's drive that. And now we are driving the automatic, and I'm driving in this area for a particular reason, because I want to show you this gearbox is actually quite good when you're driving it on path throttle or in the city, because it gives you the convenience of an automatic at a premium of around rupees 60,000, which I expect. So steering is light, easy to drive. This gearbox does a decent job of shifting gears as well. And you know what, it's smooth enough. The engine is also smooth. This car is also very safe. It should get great ratings because the Altroz was obviously rated very well by Global NCAP, and this being the same platform should perform exceptionally well as well. Meanwhile, the switch gear, only the driver's side power window is illuminated, the rest is not. Around the corners it feels the same. Some amount of body roll is there. Steering is light, but the good thing is that the steering does weigh up at higher speed. So no complaints when you're driving this car on part throttle, whether it's the manual or the automatic, because this engine has good amount of grunt on part throttle. But get hard into the gas and then you realize that, you know, it struggles. It doesn't have that punch. The manual definitely feels much better to drive than the automatic, because the automatic, rather the AMT, obviously has that lag. But other than the lag, the problem is that you know, it kind of feels sluggish, especially in the top end. So here, onto the throttle, and then it gets very vocal. It upshifts slightly lower, so it doesn't go all the way to 6,000 RPM. It upshifts around 5,500 RPM, and then obviously on full throttle, between gear shifts, there is that delay. Okay, there is that jerk, which also happens. So not the smoothest in that regard. And then you have obviously got manual mode as well. And here I'm going to use the manual mode to shift gears. Let's see. It doesn't hold on to a gear, it will automatically shift the gear as well. So if you're looking for enthusiastic driving, well, this is not the car to buy at all, irrespective whether it's the manual or the automatic. But between both, the manual definitely feels a lot better to drive. Here I am onto the gas. It will, okay, let's do one thing. Let's shift it into a higher gear. We are right now into 5th gear. Now when I mash the throttle, now it's not going to give me a downshift at all. It doesn't give me a downshift, but it will do the upshift. Again, that's unfair. If you're giving me an upshift on full throttle once I reach the red line, you should also give me a downshift, or don't do either. Like, it's like one-way thing, whatever, that doesn't matter. What matters is it's very easy and convenient car to drive. In fact, lane changes are very sure-footed in this car. Trust me, I was driving the Kaiga the other day. This car feels so much better in terms of composure, without a doubt. So taking control of gears is good actually only if you want to do some amount of control on the gearbox, but for the most part, just leave it into auto mode and let it drive the way it does. That is the best way to tackle it. Now, as I see it, if you're looking to buy a car in this segment, the Punch is easily the best option. Close your eyes and get it. But for a person like me who's not looking to buy a car in this segment, well, I'm going to go and buy Tata Motors shares, because this car is going to sell in such good numbers that honestly the share price is going to go rocketing up. Not immediately, but over a period of time. I'm not recommending you to buy Tata Motors shares. I'm just telling you what I am going to do, looking at this car's brilliant packaging and obviously the sales potential as well. I think we should take it to a ground to understand what does it do differently than the manual, because it has got some trick up its sleeve to give it some amount of off-road performance as well. How is that possible? So now we're going to try some of the challenges here which Tata Motors has set up to show the capability of the Punch. And straight away we're going to get in from here. So this is known as the gully crossing, which will test the approach angle of this car. Slow and steady. The good thing is that you can exactly see where the car is heading, thankfully, because the hood can be seen clearly. Very easy and effortless, and thankfully because it has got a good approach angle, no problem there at all. Nothing touch, good ground clearance as well, and you see the stability of the car through here. So this is actually a front wheel drive car. It doesn't have any traction control yet. It feels so effortless to drive. Here we are going to go through this section as well, and very comfortable, very easy, no problem as such. And we get out from here. We're going to try this thing as well, which happens to be incline and decline, to see how this car performs there as well. The thing is that when you turn up now on the right, it's very narrow, so we have to be a bit careful, because I don't want to take a reverse. Okay, I broke the momentum, but no problem there at all. I think I'm almost going to touch the cone on the right. No, I did not touch the cone on the right, which is quite impressive. That was effortless. Now we're going to come down. Dhanil is actually running around to take B-roll. So whatever footage you're seeing on the side, thanks to him. Okay, ahead we have got articulation. They're digging up something at the moment. no problem at all. We're just going to get in. So the first two ones are kind of easy. We'll have to wait for a bit. So the first two ones are not that hardcore. The one ahead is actually, and it is going so smooth, very effortless. Okay, one of the wheels is up right now. Now it is. And then we've got water waiting. We don't need to slow down. We can easily go through at whatever speed we want. Yeah, I was a bit fast, I believe. Oh my god, this is such a terrible area. Like, there seems to be no grip. Side slopes. And here we go. Easy peasy. This is actually going to turn the car completely on the other side, but no problem at all. And here we make it up quite easily. Car is not revving. Should I take a little reverse? No problem. And here we are on rock crawl. Just hoping I need to go get some momentum. Fast. Won't it touch? It won't. Okay, here we go. Little faster speed. Oh god. And we are out from here as well. Everyone panicking around. Well, that was easy for a car of this size and a car of this hardware. Supremely impressive indeed. So now we're going into a ring fence. I can do anything.
Anything, yeah.
Okay, which means I'm going to go very leftish first, and then I'm going to turn full rightish. I think I knocked off something on one touch. Okay, there's more space. Dhanil is guiding me here. Come on.
That's not allowed.
No, this is front parking sensor. The easiest thing is to knock off some of these things. And this is just to test the maneuverability of the car, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. How am I doing?
Perfectly good.
Perfectly good, na? So since I managed to do it so fast, what are you giving me as a gift or as being the winner of this? I just won a Tata Punch, right?
Yes.
And there we are out. Yeah, this was record time.
I'm sure it was.
I think now we should do the ice challenge.
What was the first take all about?
It is a record, bro. I did it so fast. He was also shocked. He's like, you should be the racing driver for Tata Motors, but Tata Motors doesn't do racing, unfortunately. All right, now we're going to be doing the ice challenge, which basically tests the Traction Pro mode of the Punch, which is available with the automatic only. Basically, it works with a lot of algorithms in conjunction with the ABS system, because this car does not get ESP or traction control, which I thought it will work with traction control, but no, it works with the ABS system. And now it's stuck. It says wheel stuck detected. Do you want to activate Traction Pro mode? Yes. Once I do that, it says please press the brake pedal with the left foot and accelerate slowly with the right foot. I've been doing this since decades. I'm a pro at left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and there with the brake pedal pressed on the accelerator, it easily crawls out, and then it tells me here that I have been successful in grid going. Traction Pro mode activation was successful. Yeah, baby, did that. It's actually a very unique feature and works flawlessly well. Any which ways, this is the Involve Music Retro. You can get a 10% discount using my coupon code FASTBEAM. Click the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this vlog, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Bye bye. कौन से हाथ से बोल रहा था मैं?